Hey folks, Gerrit here. As in our last episode, we're doing things a little bit different in this week's Most Awesome Founder podcast. Today we're introducing not one founder, but many. If you tuned in for the last episode, you know that on May 17th, we launched the first cohort of the inaugural WHU Startup Accelerator. This intensive 7-week mentor-driven and equity-free program provides the best and brightest startups from the WHU community with rocket fuel for their new ventures, all culminating in a July 2nd demo day where the teams pitch to investors. So today, we're introducing the 4 remaining startup teams selected to participate in this year's accelerator, the founders behind them, the problems they're tackling, and the paths they have chosen to get to market as effectively and efficiently as possible. This week, you'll meet the founders of Prematch, a data-driven content aggregator for non-professional football, CIMK, a deep tech data platform for investors interested in the Chinese market, About My Horse, a social commerce platform and online community for equestrian-focused fashion, and Happy Burning, a functional beverage company producing a one-of-a-kind brain-boosting focus drink. Each of these teams are led by incredible founders with unique backgrounds, all driven by a profound desire to improve people's lives. And as you know, there are few things more inspiring than the stories of mission-driven entrepreneurs. I hope you enjoy this unique episode of the Most Awesome Founder Podcast.
This episode is brought to you by WHU, the Otto Beisheim School of Management. WHU is reshaping the way students learn about business, management, finance, and entrepreneurship through its innovative programs and partnerships in Germany and across the globe. To learn more about this globally ranked university, visit whu.edu today.
Coming to you from WHU on the banks of the Rhine River in beautiful Vallendar, Germany. This is the best and most awesome founder podcast. A show about entrepreneurs, innovators, advisors, and educators, and the stories that make them who they are today.
So hi, I'm Nicholas. I'm 24 from beautiful Cologne, Germany. Just studied here during my undergrads, did a business degree here. And I quickly realized that like the traditional business career is not what I want to do. Made some experiences in the startup scene, mostly environmental tech startups. Realized, hey, that's what I want to do. Went on for my entrepreneurship degree at WHU. And that's where I am right now, about to finish it. Personally, born into a family of athletes, which is probably why I ended up doing what I'm doing now, or what we are doing now, mostly for sports and football. It's been like the most important parts of my life. And I would really love to hand over to my beautiful teammate.
Thanks, Nicholas. Hi, I'm Lucas, 26, entrepreneurship and football enthusiast. So I actually grew up on football pitches close to Cologne. Did everything from being a player, a coach, a member of the board of directors, and also started my career in football. Afterwards, went on studying with Nicholas economics at the University of Cologne, and continued my personal growth career at Bunch.ai, an amazing machine learning and data science startup. And I had the chance to went with them to New York, actually, open the New York office. And decided afterwards I want to go for our own idea now, and that's where we are. And that's when we came together again and founded Prematch.
Well, that's a perfect segue, Lucas. I would love you guys to tell the audience a little bit about Prematch, what the problem is that you guys are solving, and generally what it is that you do.
Well, we've been asked this question so often already, what are you guys actually doing? And I think the person who asked me the most was my mother. So I'm really trained in breaking it down now, I think. What we describe it as is mostly the digital home for non-professional football. And I'm certain, Gerrit, you as well, you know that football is a very, very special thing in Europe, and in Germany even more. It's probably one of the largest and most emotional community that's out there. And what usually happens is that children, when they're very young, they start playing, they get into their teams, and maybe some of them having the dream to become a professional one day. And then like 99.9% won't make it to the professional level. So the broad mass will always stay an amateur, and that's totally fine. But the thing is, this broad base, they identify so strongly with their passion. Like it's the number one conversation topic. Most of their friends are probably also players. They absorb all the information they can get from anywhere. So we got very, very strong connections within these micro communities. The problem is, and for non-professional football, or at least for like the digital representation of it, as of now, it's a piece of shit. Like, am I allowed to say that here?
You're allowed to say that, man. Definitely.
I have to beep it all. But like for real, you've got numerous different island solutions. You've got some of the information you want to have, solving some of the problems, some of the time. The quality is all very low. So what happens is you're really, like as a player, as a fan whatsoever, you're constantly reminded that you are non-professional. You're constantly reminded, man, you didn't make it. And that's such a strong mismatch to their own perception, because I think almost everybody has in their own team somebody who feels like the next Ronaldo, and they feel like, man, I deserve better. If they hadn't had this one injury back then, I would be a pro for now, for sure. Like they have this strong ego, if you want, like that. And that's what we want to change. We want to transfer the feeling that this non-professional space, that this is actually the ecosystem where the real life takes place. And we want to transfer some of the attention from the professional players from the first division to the broad mass that's playing in the non-professional sector. And maybe Lucas can elaborate a little bit more on what we are doing actually and how we're doing it.
What a perfect introduction, Nick. Yeah, and that's why we came together and said we want to create Prematch as the digital home for all our non-pros and fans out there. We call it the beautiful platform for the beautiful game, because we are so much into it and we know our community is into it too. And even if we can't turn you into a pro, we want to make you feel like one. So that's the vision we are following. That's our mission. And we do this by not just building another football app, but a platform which is putting the players first. So it's built around you, actually, which offers data-driven features that you now only know from professional football, and which keeps you up to date by filtering all the relevant information for you as a football player and fan.
Cool. It's a very noble task, and I think much needed. We're really looking forward to seeing how it evolves in the coming months. I'd like to just ask you guys. I heard kind of between the lines there that you knew each other from uni, but how did you guys come together to form Prematch?
Also a good question. I think first time we met was at the first week of university. Nick was at our flat because he knew my flatmate, and it clicked right away because both of us are into like having innovative ideas, talking about entrepreneurship all the time. So we had some coffees, we talked about several ideas, but this one idea, or this one problem that we actually felt ourselves, stayed present all the time. And after our bachelor's, our ways split at first. So Nick went to WHU and studied there. I went to Bunch, had the chance to work in the US. But we always stayed in touch and we always worked on the idea. And now there was like the perfect timing for us to actually jump on it, to say, hey, we have everything we need. Let's fix this problem. Let's delight the community. And we are more than excited actually that we could bring some really talented folks on the team. We have so many great people right now that are driving the vision with us. And that's kind of the story until now.
Awesome. I mean, relationships that are built around shared passions, always great. When those include sports and entrepreneurship, that tends to be pretty special. So you guys have joined this accelerator program. There's a lot of different avenues to build and grow a business. Why acceleration? Why the WHU Accelerator?
What we felt like, what our situation is right now is like we started a couple of months ago without anything. Like we didn't have a product, we didn't have a team, we had some sort of idea, but not like really the concept, figured it all out. And like what happened over the past couple of months is that we really saw our team growing. Right now they are probably 10 people. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that publicly because we're still applying for some scholarships. But yeah, there are some 10 people working on this idea right now. Even more helping us out here and there from our personal network. And yeah, we built our first product, which feels amazing. We are now about to test it with real users, with real data, and like we felt we got so much momentum over the past couple of months that we say, man, like we don't want to lose that. We want to start over now, and we want to further keep this acceleration. And that's actually what, at least from my experience, what I feel like is the most important thing for being successful with such an early venture is meeting the right people at the right time. And like the WHU Accelerator for certain is one of those places where you have such a high concentration of successful founders, of investors, of people that can mentor you, that can give you advice on so many different topics, that was kind of a no-brainer for us to play here. And I know I'm kind of biased as a student, but I think Lucas really shares this opinion.
Definitely.
I think out of our 80 mentors, I would guess that a super majority of them are football fans too. So they're gonna have fun with you guys. All right, really gonna be great to see where things end up in the next few months. But for listeners that want to learn more about you guys and Prematch, where can they find you online?
Yeah, we are still kind of in stealth mode, so you won't find that many information online, but you can go to prematchapp.de, check some basic information over there. But best way is to directly reach out to Nick and me. So feel free to contact us on LinkedIn, shoot us an email. It's Lucas at prematchapp.de, or the same for Nicholas. And we're always happy to chat, always excited to share ideas. And yeah, looking forward to amazing conversations.
Awesome, guys. I love your enthusiasm. I love the founder market fit. Cannot wait to see where Prematch is by the end of this summer. It's going to be a good ride. Great to have you guys on board.
Thank you for having us, Gerrit.
Yeah, right.
Hey, my name is Lucas, and I'm from Germany, and I studied for my bachelor business administration at the University Göttingen, and then for the master's I stayed in Göttingen for 1 year, did their global business master, but I did my study program as a double degree. So the second year I studied at Nanjing University in China. And during my studies, I did a couple of internships, mainly in consulting. But then last year in September, after I finished my master's, I decided to actually stay in China and start to build this company, which is the reason why we're now part of this amazing program.
I'm Sonali, and I'm from India, and I have studied in India. So my bachelor's is in computer science, and I did my master's in information technology from Birla Institute of Technology, both from the same university. And after that, I started working for a long while, I will say. And then recently, I'm going to just finish my PhD. I'm in the last phase of my PhD at the moment, so I'll be defending my thesis very soon, final defense. Everything else is done. And my PhD is also in the computer science field of cloud security and access control. And besides that, in between my master's and my PhD, I was working at different places. So my last job was as a lecturer in a university called New York Institute of Technology. I worked with them for 10 years as a lecturer in computer science and engineering. And before that, I was a trainer, international education business trainer at a company called IIT from India. And while I was doing my lecturership at the university, I realized that if I am in the field of academia, I have to have a PhD. So that is why I started my PhD. And by the time I am ready to finish my PhD, it feels like now I'm ready to join a startup. So, so let's see where it goes all, but I'm very excited because once I'm done with my PhD, I already have Lucas and Cassandra to work with, and a lot of our team is growing, so I'm very excited.
Hi, I'm Lu Xuan. Currently, I'm still a member of the MIE 2021 program at WHU. My graduation will be this summer. Before coming to Germany, I studied my bachelor's degree in English International Trade. Also, I had achieved a master's degree in English and Chinese translation and interpretation. I also had a job for 1 year, serving as the international purchaser. Also, at this job, I facilitated the establishment of a joint venture before our company and a German company. And this experience took me to Germany for the first time. Also, it made me realize my interest in entrepreneurship and management. That's why I'm here.
Awesome. Very cool. It's great to see that I'm not the only older, more experienced person finishing a PhD right now. So we're in the same boat. I guess the difference is I did all the startups and then did the PhD. You're doing the PhD and then doing the startup. So very, very cool. And what a great, nice balance of skills on you guys' team. But I'd like to allow you guys to share a little bit about the business. Maybe you could tell me the name of the company, of course, the problem that you're solving, and generally what it is that you guys do.
Yes, let me just start. So the name of the company is CIMK, which stands for China Investment Market Knowledge. And the big goal is to close an existing information gap between the Chinese market and non-Chinese speaking investors. So since I lived in China, I got fascinated by Chinese companies, by Chinese technologies. And I myself always had this problem that some Chinese friends who can speak really well Chinese, they told me about new companies, told me about different news, and I myself always try to look it up, use some different English sources, but I was never able to find the same kind of news, never was able to understand exactly what does this new company is doing, or even what does this big companies have for new products. And so I was really frustrated and thought, it's really hard to really get a good understanding of the Chinese market and also find all the news information in time to be able to talk and get into the current discussions. And that's basically our motivation to solve this existing huge information gap, because there is this big language barrier, and there is right now no global brand where you know, okay, if I go to this website, to this dashboard, I can really get all information on this huge and growing market in one place, and that's our goal to become this global brand.
Awesome. So you guys have a pretty unique and diverse team. You have a soon-to-be PhD computer scientist from India. You have someone who studied business who's from Germany, and you have another teammate who studied their master's in entrepreneurship at WHU. How did you guys come together to form CIMK?
Yeah, that's also a funny story, and I think that's always the case, that if you do a startup, you always have to be lucky. So last December, I was by myself and just searching for some people who want to join this mission. And therefore, I did a short video in which I explained my ideas and said that I'm searching for different kinds of people. And I basically just sent it out via social media And then there was one common friend who knew all three of us, and he basically got us in touch. But maybe Sonali can say something to this point, how she got in touch with me then.
Yeah, so like Lucas mentioned, that we have a common friend who connected all the three of us here. So what happened was Lucas was looking for someone to join his team, and I was almost done with my thesis. Like the revision was going on, so so I started looking for a new job because because of the COVID, my university campus in China closed last year at the same time when the pandemic started. So it was a bad timing to switch a job because the whole world was in a crisis. I could not travel, the borders were closed. So I took a break. There was no new job opening because everything was online. So I said, okay, let me focus on my PhD, finish it all. But by the end of December, I was almost done with everything, except for, of course, the revision was going on, as I said. So this common friend, who is actually also from Germany, so he one day he just sent me this job opening, and he said that maybe you should talk to this guy, maybe something will work out. And I saw and I said, okay, it's a startup. So he said, so what, just go ahead. And he, because he knows that I always talked about startup and starting something of my own, so he said, why not, like, you maybe something will click. So I said, okay, let's do that. And then I connected with Lucas, and we had a small conversation on WeChat. And then he said, why don't you just drop by in my office and we can talk? So I went ahead and we met. And I liked the idea, what he said. And even though I have no connection with anything in finance, but stock market is something that I really don't understand. But then I still decided, okay, maybe it's a time for me to learn something new now that I'm ready to finish my PhD. So then, and of course, my job was nothing to do with the finance. It's just the IT field anyway. So I said, okay, let me just go ahead with it. And later on, I found out then Lucas made a group, and I saw, oh, Cassandra is also there, which was very, very interesting. That, oh, wow. And then we found out that this is how we have connected. One common friend connected us all. So it's very interesting.
That's a great story. And if it has a fairy tale ending, that's the kind of story that books will get written about. Born from a pandemic and a social media post on WeChat. Very cool. And I hope your friend, when you're very successful, that your friend gets a little piece of the cap table for connecting you guys all together. So I'm curious, there's a lot of different ways and a lot of different strategies you can take from building an early stage venture. Why did you choose acceleration, and particularly why the WHU Accelerator?
Yeah, first of all, for us, we already made the experience that is super valuable to talk to experienced people. And I think in that sense, there's no better way than choosing this kind of programs. So we know that in terms of execution, it's all our responsibility. But for us, it's also clear that there are a lot of people who already have made certain mistakes, certain learnings, and we want to basically leverage their knowledge to move faster, and also maybe doing some slightly changes in the direction. And we think that it's a really good way to increase our small chance of success, because the startup is always risky. It's always playing against the success story. But we think that if we are especially part of this program with this huge network of already successful startup founders, we think that this would be a great way to learn from them, get some guidance, and then increase our likelihood of success.
Awesome. Well, WHU has had a lot of successful founders in the financial services and the fintech. So I have a feeling of our 80 mentors that you'll be working with in the coming weeks, you're going to hear a lot of good decisions and bad decisions and how it affected them. And hopefully, like all of us folks that have done it before, the best thing we can do is tell you where we screwed up and hope our babies don't make the same mistakes that we did. But Just to wrap things up, for people that are watching and listening and are interested in what you're doing, where can we find more about CIMK online?
So I think the best way would be to visit our website, cimk.net. But we're also on social media like LinkedIn, so maybe that's a good place to start. And yeah, hopefully you will hear more about us in the future.
We are also on Instagram, and we have our WhatsApp group and Telegram channels also.
You guys are dialed in on social. Well, that makes sense. You started on social, and I imagine you'll grow there as well. Well, guys, we are all very much looking forward to seeing you in just a few weeks' time. And as our one team that's partially in Germany and partially in China, it's going to be, you guys are going to be a great addition to the cohort. And we look forward to seeing you guys very soon.
Thank you so much for this great opportunity. We're also really looking forward to finally start this program, and yeah, it will be great.
Yes, thank you so much. Looking forward to it.
Hi, I'm Isabel. I'm the CEO and co-founder of About My Horse. I'm a passionate horse rider living in Düsseldorf currently. I studied business administration in Cologne and then worked for some time in different positions in the fashion industry with a focus on retail and e-commerce. And after that, of course, I did my MBA at WHU, which was a groundbreaking event, and started my part-time MBA there. And from then on, an exciting journey started, which you will be hearing more in the next few minutes.
Hi, and my name is Lars. I'm 38 years old from Düsseldorf too, and I'm part-time MBA class of 2012 from WHU. So that's why, yeah, I met some of our co-founders at a breakfast from WHU alumni, and yeah, we decided to found something that can be called About My Horse, and then we searched for other people who may be interested in investing time in horse business, and yeah, that's when we set up About My Horse. I'm kind of family business entrepreneur. My family is sending and selling sand for horse stables, and that's why I'm interested in horse business.
Awesome. Talk about a great founder market fit. You guys are passionate and have a family experience in the industry. Tell me a little bit about my horse. I feel like I'm being redundant when I say that, but what is the problem you're solving? What is it exactly that you guys do?
Well, I will take this on up. So About My Horse is the first and only inspirational fashion e-commerce platform for the equestrian market. Maybe to give some bit of a more background information, today we have two separate worlds in this sector. So we have the super old school online world where retailers took basically their printed catalogs and put them into the internet and then called it e-commerce. So you have zero user experience, you have zero inspiration, and it's basically super boring. And then on the other side, we have people passionate, super interested in equestrian fashion. So mostly younger people, the next generation of customers that are on Instagram, on Pinterest, on TikTok, and there they're seeking their inspiration. But these platforms are not basically made for shopping or have a perfect equestrian fit. So we speak of two different worlds. And what does About My Horse do? We connect those two different worlds. We take the inspirational part and combine it with a super great shopping experience, of course. We show the best looks and the outfits with the help of opinion leaders, so from Instagram influencers and so on. And thereby we create curated content for people who are interested in horse riding, anything around the equestrian market. So for example, if you like white horses and you're interested in show jumping, you will see exactly what you want to see on our platform.
I want to jump in with one question here, because maybe you can put it in context a little bit. How big is the horse market? Like, is this a big industry?
Yes, it's a super big industry. If you basically just look at Germany, there are 5% of all Germans connected to horse riding or doing actively horse riding. And those people, they spend $8 billion per year only on equipment. So it's not about the barn, it's not about the vet, it's only for equipment. And this is where we come in and say, okay, please give us some of this money and spend it at About My Horse. So it's a super, super interesting market to go to.
Awesome. Wow. That's massive, actually. I think for people that aren't so familiar with the sport and the culture around it, to see how big it actually is. Sorry, Lars, did you want to say something?
What I see in my family business by selling the sand for the stables, that we do not have a go down of sales, because people invest in their sport and their passion, even if there is a small lack of money, if you can say that. So they don't say, okay, I don't want to invest into my horse or my stable or in my equipment or in the fashion. I stop spending money for other things, but not in my hobby.
I love businesses like that because it targets the emotional consumer. Whether if you're shopping for your passion, your hobby, your kids, your horse, these are things that people will spend incredible amounts of money totally irrationally on.
Yeah, correct.
So Lars had made a brief mention of it earlier, but can you tell me a little bit about, not only, I know you guys have connections through WHU and MBA, but how did you come together to build this venture?
Yeah, as I already said, I sat together with one of our co-founders. They had the idea of doing live shopping. They developed a new software, and they told me that they're looking for niche markets to test the software. And yeah, that's when I came up with the idea to do it in the horse market, because it's an interesting niche market, as we already heard. And we sat together, but we knew that we need someone who's really, really passionate about riding itself. So I'm very interested and close to the horse business, but I'm not a rider, and so we need someone. And the idea was to get someone from WHU, as we know that the education and the passion is there, and if we can combine it with a passion for horses and for riding, that would be great. And that's why we set up WHU alumni application form, and then over the Impraxi newsletter we got Isabel.
And I basically read looking for a co-founder, and I just saw the word horse, and I immediately was like, okay, that's me. Bye. Independent of what you're doing, it's me.
And not only did you find someone with a passion for horses, but someone who also knows e-commerce and fashion.
Yeah, that was a great combination. That she has experience in the fashion and e-commerce business. That was great. We are very, very lucky about that, and it's a once in a lifetime chance.
Incredible. This network never ceases to amaze me. So, there's a lot of different avenues that a startup can take to go to market and to grow their businesses. Why did you choose acceleration, and particularly why did you choose the WHU Accelerator?
So maybe I can take this one. We have successfully launched our MVP now. We tested it. We see that users are joining the platform. We see that people are actually shopping. We see a lot of interaction and communities growing. Companies are interested in what we are doing. So we see, despite of a lot of improvement potentials we still have, that our idea is working and people like it, and also customers like it. And now is the right time for us to grow and to find the right measures to grow big time. And that's why I think acceleration makes so much sense for us in this momentum now. And of course, there's no better place to do this than the WHU. No, just kidding. But WHU is internationally known for bringing up great entrepreneurs and great founders, and also successful startups are born in WHU. And we actually want to become this too, and we want to profit from this great network, as we already experienced. It can be so helpful, and this is actually why we are super happy to be part of this.
Awesome. I cannot wait to see how much you guys evolve and grow in the coming months. I have a feeling what you guys look like and how fast you've grown by the end of summer is going to be very different than it is now. It's going to be a fun journey. Just to wrap things up, where people that are interested, there's probably some passionate equestrians listening, where can they learn more about what you do online?
So basically, if you go to LinkedIn, Google us, send us a mail, give me a call, send me a pigeon with a letter, do whatever you want to. As I said, I'm super passionate about this whole project, so I'm always happy to chat, and I can chat a lot. The only one time when I'm not available is when I'm actually sitting on the horse. So that's the only time during the day I'm not available. But also please check out aboutmyhorse.com or our social media channels where you can learn and see what we're doing.
Lars, Isabel, can't wait to see you guys in a few weeks and see the journey ahead. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks
Thank
a lot.
you very much. We're looking forward to it.
We can't wait to see the results.
Yes, and to start.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Philip Unetsko. Thank you for the invitation, by the way. I really appreciate here this opportunity. I grew up in Oldenburg, which is a little village near Bremen, northern Germany. I always knew that I wanted to go into the business world, and not only because I was interested in businesses, but also the whole economy and financial markets and everything like it. So not surprisingly, I started my bachelor in business studies in Halle, Saale in Eastern Germany. And yeah, during my bachelor, I really learned about the whole startup economy and the value of really starting your own company. So I got the idea already to start a company during my bachelor's, but I thought, well, first you're gonna need some experience in the area. So I moved to Berlin and I worked for a startup named Startup Detector. Um, yeah, the founders totally supported me in every possible way, and I really got the sense of the whole VC startup game. And today I'm studying at WHU. I'm studying entrepreneurship, and I'm happy to be here.
My name is Joshua Kilp. Yeah, I grew up in a small village in a more rural part of Western Germany in the middle of nowhere. And after the classical school path, I took the opportunity to study business psychology in Cologne. I've always been interested in how we people and our economy work, and so business psychology was the perfect fit for my bachelor's. And early on in my studies, yeah, I found fun in product and strategy development, playing through and analyzing different scenarios. And from then on, I spent a lot of time in strategy and innovation consulting, and also started my own initiatives and companies in consulting and product development. Yeah, to sum up, through the experiences of this time, I've discovered the passion for entrepreneurship for me and decided to strive to become an entrepreneur, if you can say so. So yeah, to get the best start in entrepreneurship, I'm now studying in the Masters of Entrepreneurship at WHU, and here we are.
And here we are. Awesome. So maybe one of you guys can tell us a little bit about what's the name of your company, what problem are you guys solving, and just what it is that you guys do.
All right, so we are basically Happy Burning, and we are making biohacking accessible for everyone. We start our journey with a readily available focus drink, which really can boost your cognitive performance. And can we achieve this? Well, there are a few natural substances that can really influence your brain. They are called nootropics. One of the most famous one is caffeine, for example. I think most people drink a cup of coffee every morning, and
or five.
Well, but there are even more, and there are even better nootropics. One of the most explored, for example, is ginkgo. The tree is really remarkable because it's like 270 million years old already, and it's not only remarkable for the tree itself, but also for its effect. And there are already hundreds of studies for ginkgo. One study especially stood out because they were testing the effect on ginkgo on human beings for different time spans. And they found out, well, if you take it a longer period of time, you can increase your mood, you can increase your efficiency in your working life, you can increase the efficiency in household tasks. And some experts say, well, this can really increase your life quality. Well, if we can increase the life quality of just a tiny fraction of our potential customer group, man, I would run for it every single day. And instead of taking like 10, 15 pills every day to get the ultimate effect, we want to create a healthy and natural beverage, and also maybe food in the future. And I think the use case is pretty massive, because everybody can need a cognitive boost, right? And we see ourselves not only in every supermarket in the future, but also like in conference rooms of big firms, for example. So this is really where we want to go.
Gotcha. And Joshua, coming from a business psychology standpoint, you've probably, I'm kind of into this topic as well. So on one side of this, you have the idea of positive effect, right? That means good feelings, positive feelings, makes us feel good. On the other side, we're talking concentration, focus, and whatnot. What is your target audience? What is your target customer for this? What is your core value proposition that you think is most important right now?
Okay, so basically everyone is struggling with distraction or lacking of motivation and so on. We all know this feeling. Our first step into the market will be approaching students, because we're students ourselves and we're pretty close to the target group and know the everyday struggle with learning and having to perform at university. And by the way, our name is exactly derived from happy burning. It's a common saying at WHU when you have to deliver lots of content within a few hours. Yeah, and the underlying hypothesis or the USP is that most people, like Philip mentioned, you grab a cup of coffee to deal with the stress you have, and you have the feeling of relief when you drink the coffee and think, yeah, now I'm ready to perform within the next hour and deliver my stuff. But not only coffee, there are also energy drinks and sometimes drugs like Adderall or Ritalin, so bad stuff. And our USP is that we provide this relief and help our customer and our target group to self-condition themselves, if you can say so, to help them dealing with that stuff with a healthy beverage, providing the right ingredients that really and effectively help you perform in this situation you need to perform.
Awesome. That's such a great problem that you guys are tackling, because anybody that knows a little bit about the neurotransmitters in the brain, coffee has a law of diminishing returns, because drinking coffee does produce dopamine, but it also produces cortisol. And the more coffee you drink, the more cortisol produces and the less dopamine it produces. So over time, you get more stress and less feel good. So anyone that can solve that problem will be an interesting case. Can you guys tell me real quick, how did you guys meet? How did you guys come together to start working on this project?
Many probably know this effect when you meet someone for the first time and you immediately have the feeling, well, this works. There's the right vibe in the room. And I think that's exactly what happened here. We met for our master studies, sharing a room together or an apartment. And we quickly realized that we not only have a similar work mode, but I think we also complement each other quite well with our experiences, our studies, and our ways of thinking. And at some point, we realized, or it turned out, that we both are interested in everything around biohacking for years. And one day we discussed how much benefit certain biohacks already brought to our everyday lives. Yeah, and then the idea came up, why not many more people benefit from those apparently simple biohacks? And so one thing led to another, and here we are starting into the WHU Accelerator with a vision to make biohacking easily available for everyone.
Awesome. It sounds like the universe somehow lined you guys up together. I love that. What a great story. So you mentioned the accelerator. Always interested, why the accelerator route? Why the WHU Accelerator in general?
Yeah, so maybe I can answer it, because I came to WHU just because of its statistic, honestly. I knew that the most, or that WHU is the origin of the most successful startups, but also the most successful founders. And once I arrived here, it didn't take long to understand why. The spirit here is just unique. Even the alumni are very dedicated to help everyone out. Today I'm really grateful to be able to study here, even in COVID times. And we already worked on our company. While when you announced there will be a summer accelerator, um, once we read about it, it was really a no-brainer because we believe this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for us because we cannot fine-tune our company only, but we can also fine-tune ourselves, really. We are both entrepreneurship students and are educated to start a company from scratch and at the best university, maybe in Germany, maybe in Europe, who knows. And that plus being part of the accelerator and hopefully get challenged every day by real rock stars of the industries, I think it cannot get any better than that. So it was an absolute no-brainer here.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. And there will be 80 incredible mentors challenging you guys every day till your head spin. That's for sure. Guys, just to wrap it up, can you tell us what people that are listening, where they can learn more about Happy Burning and find you online?
Yes, of course. So we are currently working at full speed to give Happy Burning a face. And if you want to get a first impression of us, you can reach us at happy-burning.de. It's our teaser website now, but there will be a lot going on in the next few weeks. Also, we're working on our social media presence on Facebook and Instagram. There you can also find us under our name Happy Burning. And if you want to reach us personally, we're happy to receive your messages via LinkedIn.
Awesome. And man, Joshua, I listened to you on this podcast and I'm going, I think you should be the podcast guy. You've got like a James Earl Jones kind of Morgan Freeman voice going on there. So
thank you, Gerrit.
You're very welcome, man. Guys, thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you 1 month from today at the orientation day for the accelerator, and cannot wait to see what the next 3 months have in store for both of you and for Happy Burning. So looking forward to it.
Thanks for having us.
Well, folks, that was Prematch, CIMK, About My Horse, and Happy Burning. 4 of the startups in this year's WHU Accelerator. Stay tuned for our next episode, which goes live every other Wednesday. And until then, be sure to check out our website at mostawesomepodcast.com, follow our channel on YouTube, and subscribe on Spotify, Apple, or your favorite podcast streaming service. Bis nächstes Mal.